Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. New leads tonight on day 13 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. More than 30,000 tips, but still no suspect in custody. What the FBI is saying now. The growing vigil tonight and the new warning.
Should the suspect be afraid tonight?
I think that suspect should be afraid every night. We're going to find you.
Also developing tonight, the new images coming in, a controversial ICE raid in New Jersey, panicked children running from a school bus stop. What the kids are saying, and what about the response from the Department of Homeland Security tonight? Weekend storms, snow, rain, and wind. Will it ruin your Valentine's Day? Rob Marciano timing it out. Olympic shock, the free skate final, all the flips, spins, and falls. Kelly O'Grady standing by in Milan. And Steve Hartman on the road with the story of a mailman who went the extra mile.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
And thank you for joining us as we head into a weekend that, hard to believe, marks 2 weeks since the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie in the middle of the night. And so much has come in since that moment. Footage of a suspect outside her home in Tucson. Descriptions of his build, his body type, what he was carrying. More than 30,000 tips from the public. And yet, despite it all and the combined search efforts of the FBI and local law enforcement, Savannah Guthrie's mother remains missing. Her captor remains at large. And tonight, there are growing questions about the level of cooperation between local and federal investigators in this case. Jonathan Vigliotti pressed the sheriff about all that today. Jonathan, good evening. What are you learning?
And Tony, it's the first time we've heard from the sheriff in more than a week. He says he is working closely with the FBI and tonight focused on new DNA results, which are now being analyzed.
There has been no sign of life.
Does she have that kind
But
of
I'm going to tell you, too, there's been no sign of death.
Tonight, as the search continues for Nancy Guthrie, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano says the manhunt is intensifying.
Should the suspect be afraid tonight?
I think that suspect should be afraid every night. We're going to find you.
The FBI describes the male suspect as 5'9" to 5'10" tall, with an average build, and wearing a black Ozark trail hiker backpack, like the one shown in these photos. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Sources with knowledge of the investigation say law enforcement officials reviewed video at this Walmart location in Tucson.
I know they've identified the bag. I know that they've identified it as coming from a Walmart facility. But from there, I mean, you've got a lot of Walmarts.
The sheriff tells us his team has processed fingerprints and DNA evidence, including a pair of gloves that were found near the crime scene, and sent them to a contracted laboratory.
We did get some DNA back, and we are looking at all those things.
DNA back from where?
Again, I can't give you those specifics.
Has it led to a name?
No, you mean a suspect?
Yeah.
Boy, I wish it did. Not yet.
The sheriff denied reports his department was withholding evidence from the FBI by using a lab in Florida instead of the FBI lab.
Why not lean on Quantico and their lab?
It adds a step that's not needed. I have a lab that has taken on this evidence, and they have that.
You're saying consistency.
Consistency.
Does that consistency
Why would
slow
I-
this down in any way? Instead
No,
of
it
using
actually
Quantico?
helps it.
Meanwhile, Tucson residents are placing yellow ribbons and flowers around the Catalina foothills, hoping for Guthrie's safe return.
And tonight, there is no named suspect, not even a vehicle of interest. This as the FBI continues to call on the public for help. Anyone with information is asked to call the numbers on your screen. Tony?
That's where we are on this Friday. Jonathan, thank you very much. We turn now to South Jersey. The new images coming in of another controversial ICE raid. Kids running scared from a school bus stop as ICE operates nearby. What happened? Who was the target? Tom Hansen is looking into it.
Surveillance footage shows the moment dozens of elementary school students ran through a South Jersey apartment complex as an ICE operation began Thursday morning. The Lindenwold School District says 4th and 5th graders were waiting at their bus stop when ICE agents sparked fear and confusion.
Like somebody saw them come out of the car.
10-year-old Dylan, a U.S. citizen, told us it was a normal day until classmates started yelling ICE.
Out of nowhere, like, people would just start running, saying that ICE is over there, and, like, everybody was running. and like we all were scared.
Dylan describes a chaotic scene. He told us agents started following him as he ran home. In this home security video, Dylan is frantically banging on the door, pleading for his mom to let him in.
Were you worried that ICE was going to try to get inside your home?
Yes.
It's getting out of control.
Maria, a U.S. citizen whose children attend the local school, has lived in the area for more than a decade. She says this incident follows increased ICE activity in the neighborhood.
There's a lot of kids right now that are traumatized. They don't want to go to school.
Do you feel safe walking outside?
Not really. No.
Raise your hand if you know someone who is scared that they might lose their parents to authorities. How does it make you feel knowing that some of your friends are so worried for their own families?
It makes me upset.
Community members gathered this afternoon to protest ICE. New Jersey Congressman Donald Norcross demanded more transparency.
DHS has to come forward, be transparent.
Until then, Dylan says he fears he could lose his parents.
This is making you emotional. Why is it so hard to talk about this for you?
Because I feel like they're just gonna come out of nowhere and take my parents.
And in a statement, the school district said it is providing counseling to any students who may need it. We also reached out to DHS for more information on this operation. They have not gotten back to us yet. Tony?
Tom, thank you very much. To Washington now on a related story. Lawmakers locked in a standoff over the way ICE is carrying out immigration enforcement. Democrats refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security without new rules on body cameras, protected areas like schools, and the use of masks during operations. Republicans are pushing back. Here's Nicole Skanga.
It's the third shutdown in as many months, this one targeting the Department of Homeland Security, with Democrats demanding federal immigration agents remove their masks, wear ID, and operate without racial profiling.
They're brutalizing everyday Americans and law-abiding immigrant families. They're not targeting violent felons who are here illegally.
But immigration enforcement won't stop because of the president's One Big Beautiful Bill. Tens of billions in previous funding allows ICE and CBP to operate throughout the shutdown.
We have to protect law enforcement. ICE has done a phenomenal job.
At TSA, roughly 50,000 officers will screen passengers without regular pay.
Not being able to come home with a paycheck, it puts a toll on you, and not only on your stress level, but on your spirit.
And 56,000 Coast Guard members will remain on duty without compensation. But nearly 2/3 of the federal cyber defense workforce, which protects critical infrastructure, will be furloughed.
Are Democrats comfortable with the shutdown's impact falling not on immigration authorities, but on maritime security, aviation security,
I've already
and
addressed
cyber defense?
That's not our choice. Protection of the rights of all Americans to not be subject to the type of violence, coercion, and detention that Trump has unleashed on America through ICE, you're damn right it's worth standing up for.
In a separate incident, 2 ICE agents have been suspended after new evidence surfaced contradicting their sworn testimony about a January 14th officer-involved shooting in Minneapolis. The U.S. government says those officers are now the subject of a criminal probe. Tony?
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. Another dose of good news on the economy tonight. Inflation slowed to 2.4% in January, beating expectations thanks in part to declining prices on gas and used cars and trucks. But it wasn't all moving in the right direction. Ground beef up 21% year over year, and new car prices jumped as well. Turn now to the weather and what's shaping up to be a weekend washout all across the South. Meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking a major storm as well. Rob, what's the latest?
Hey, Tony. Yeah, it's going to be a potent storm, but a fast mover developing now in the southwest. Let's get to it. We got rain that's filling in across Arizona and New Mexico. It'll be in the plains tomorrow, Dallas by lunchtime, and then thunderstorms with this as well. Shreveport down to Houston, Lake Charles, I-10. These could be severe with tornadoes. And then Sunday morning into the panhandle of Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Some of this will reach to the northeast, maybe Jersey, Philly, New York, in the form of a little snow, coating to a couple of inches. But some of that rainfall, though they need it in the south, could be problematic. Active pattern, though, in the west. We will take this rain too. 3 to 6 inches of rain coming to California may cause some spotty problems, but they need that snow in the Sierra. 3 to 6 feet there. Interior mountains, Wasatch, Rockies. We'll take all that snow. And if it's not raining where you live tomorrow, it's going to be above average in much of the country, up 22 degrees above average in Minneapolis. That's enough to warm just about everybody's heart on this Valentine's weekend. Tony?
Rob, thank you. Now to a shocking upset tonight for Team USA at the Winter Olympics. The back-flipping skating sensation known as the Quad God had one of his worst performances and failed to medal in the free skate finals. That means host country Italy and Norway still lead the medal count. They're tied at 18, 4 ahead of Team USA. Here's Kelly O'Grady with what went wrong in Milan.
Tony, quad god Ilya Malinin proved he is human tonight. Heavily favored for gold, Malinin said he blew it, finishing 8th with the expectations proving too much. Now, Malinin fell twice and aborted a number of quadruple jumps. He fought through the program while the crowd tried to lift him up, but it wasn't enough. After the U.S. skater said, quote, the pressure is unreal, but adding he was proud of getting to the finish. Across town, the U.S. women's hockey team crushed Italy 6-0 in the quarterfinals and will take the ice next on Monday. And Lindsey Vonn shared her first on-camera update since the crash that resulted in a broken leg.
It's been quite a hard few days in the hospital here. I'm finally feeling more like myself.
The skiing star revealed she will have her 4th surgery Saturday after she hopes to return to the States, where she will have yet another operation. Vonn continues, though, to cheer on Team USA, telling the athletes to keep crushing it. Tony?
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. This Sunday night after 60 Minutes is the kickoff of our new CBS News Town Hall series, Things That Matter. Norah O'Donnell speaks with Maryland Governor Wes Moore about the rising cost of living, about immigration, and the future of his party. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right after 60 Minutes. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the new debate over doorbell cameras, how to balance the need for security and the right to privacy. Also, an ugly brawl breaks out on a plane, why 2 passengers are now banned for life from that particular airline. Stay with us. Doorbell cameras have been in the news all week after law enforcement somehow managed to access an old clip from Nancy Guthrie's camera despite her not having a subscription for that, and after a Super Bowl ad for Ring camera raised new questions about privacy. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman looks at the trade-offs between security and surveillance.
The Super Bowl ad by Ring camera seemed harmless. A sad girl with her father, a lost puppy, and missing pet signs that have been a staple of neighborhoods for decades.
Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match.
The ad for a feature called Search Party in Ring cameras that would have allowed homeowners to share camera footage with police drew backlash and stoked fears over mass surveillance. And that triggered an abrupt about-face by Ring's owner, Amazon, which announced today it would scrap plans for Ring to partner with Flock Safety, a tech company that allows users to share video with law enforcement.
There is still a strong, reasonable expectation of privacy that people have a sense of, even if it is not strongly protected by the legal system at the moment.
When your doorbell video records this, who gets to see it?
Just the owner of the camera.
Jamie Siminoff is the founder of Ring Camera.
Is there an inherent tension here between the public's desire for privacy and law enforcement's desire to crack a case?
I think you can have both. We built the system based on our customers asking us. They want to help out.
Nearly 80% of Americans own some sort of home security camera, including tens of millions of Ring cameras. In Tucson, Arizona, police were hoping those cameras would help find Nancy Guthrie. Earlier this week, the FBI released video from her own doorbell camera of a potential suspect. But so far, no other footage has emerged.
And Tony, in the Nancy Guthrie case, this was not an issue of the trade-off between privacy and mass surveillance. Rather, it was an issue of topography and how far back the houses in that neighborhood are set from the street. Tony.
Matt, thank you very much. Up next in a moment, what to name this baby elephant? We asked, you answered. Stay with us.
And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Dragon, and Godspeed Crew 12.
And liftoff. Free
somewhere up there right now as we speak, 2 American astronauts, a French astronaut and a Russian cosmonaut, are on a 34-hour journey to the International Space Station, all courtesy of a SpaceX launch just before dawn today. As they entered orbit, one of the Americans said, "We have left the Earth, but the Earth has not left us," adding, "We are one humankind." A beautiful sentiment. Meanwhile, back here, under the influence of gravity, a brawl broke out on a plane. It apparently began on this journey from Turkey to the United Kingdom when a passenger who'd been drinking started muttering racial slurs. Screaming became cursing, became punching, became, in one case at least, a chokehold, and the plane made an emergency landing in Brussels, where police took 2 passengers off the plane, and the airline, called Jet2, says it banned those passengers for life. All right, my favorite story of the day. The baby elephant at the National Zoo in Washington finally has a new name. Linh Mai, meaning spirit blossom in Vietnamese, is what the public chose to call this beautiful 11-day-old calf as online voting ended today. But here's the thing. Because people on the internet can't be trusted, that was one of only 4 options the zoo gave people. None of the ideas included the ones you submitted that we asked for. These were wonderful. Millions viewed our social posts. Thousands of you responded with your best ideas, including Sharon Stone, amazingly. She suggested Feliponte, which I like. Elephants Gerald, very clever. Trunker Bell is terrific. And because it's D.C., we also got Donald Trunk. Tutu was popular as well because the elephant was born on February 2nd, 22. Ella Fitzgerald is my pick for the winner. If only the zoo had bothered to ask us. Up next, Steve Hartman on the road.
I'm Steve Hartman with the story of a mailman, this beloved.
I'm going to miss you,
I think Layla's going to miss you.
Meet him when we go on the road to Demorest, New Jersey, coming up on the CBS Evening News.
Thank you, Steve. That's another day in America. I'm Tony DeCopel. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday.